system. May have not done too much with it. Okay, we got somebody, Sam, saying that they haven't been on command yet. So this is a good way to get started. We're going to really go step by step. If you didn't see my Facebook post, I had suggested that as we go along, this is kind of an interactive type of teaching where we're going to show you how to do things in your command system. So I know it's kind of difficult when you're trying to watch a Zoom call and do things on the computer. So if you have a phone or a tablet or a second computer, then you may want to watch the Zoom class on that so that you have your screen free so you can log into command and do things as we go along. So just a suggestion there. So if your whole screen is filled up right now with just, you know, everybody on the Zoom call, then you won't be able to kind of play along in your command system to do things. So just a suggestion there to get a second screen set up so you can watch on one and then participate in the other.
And I'll show you everybody how to do that once Drew's done.
Yep.
Yep.
So really quickly, I'm just going to go through a couple of things here about commands. So just to give you a high level overview of the system, there's kind of three parts to command. There's the virtual consumer. So that's our outward facing website and the app that you're all familiar with. There's the virtual agent, which is what we're mainly focusing on, the actual command system. And then there's the virtual market center, which is like Cloudmore. And that's where we no longer have green sheets. You go through commissions. And it all sits on top of the Keller cloud, which is basically AI data. And as we keep working in the system, it's going to continue to learn and grow with us. So if you see here, looking at this, it's big data that is being collected from the consumers on their apps and on the websites, from how we interact with the system, so on and so forth, so that it will bring us more and more specific uses of the system and will be geared towards us. That analogy is sort of like with Netflix. The more you use Netflix, the more it learns about you and will predict like the type of TV shows or movies you like to watch. Or if you're familiar with Amazon, it will suggest other products for you to buy. Overall, this system was built by the agents for the agents, and it continues to be updated and improved every day. So it's continuing to learn. So here, you know, it's all about collecting data and AI. And then for us, if you see the steps there, it's basically, you know, number one is to build your database, and then customize. We've got designs, things like that. Cultivate leads. We have all kinds of drip campaigns, and 8x8s, 33 touch, all that type of stuff that you learn in the Red Book, and then capitalize on the system. Another kind of high level view is to look at it, that there's about 10 different pieces to the system. It's managing your database, marketing yourself, being hyper local and providing local, hyper local content. If you're on a team, managing your team, ways to run campaigns and get leads from listings, managing your referrals. We have an entire referral database network with all the other 165,000 Keller Williams agents across the country and around the globe. Optimizing local insights. Think about that sort of like when you go on to Yelp and leave a review. We have essentially our own Yelp system where you can write insights on local restaurants or a nail salon or a barber shop that you can then send out to your clients. So when they look at a neighborhood, you can provide insights about what's in their community. Obviously managing deals and transactions. There's a sales pipeline, collaborating and connecting with your team, and managing the goals for your team. So those are just a few of the things that we're going to cover. More specifically, the way that this course is set out is, as I mentioned before, it's going to be one class per week. 1 hour per class and 1 session per quarter. And just to take a look ahead, today is kind of the welcome and getting you set up on your settings and your profile. And Renee is going to lead that. Next Wednesday at 1 o'clock will be command your contacts and setting up tasks. I'll be leading that, as well as the next week is commanding your opportunities. From there, Renee is going to teach us a lot about Docusign and compliance and commissions, all of those important things. And then back to me, I'll be going into designs, websites, landing pages. And then Renee is going to talk about campaigns and smart plans. And then I'll be covering reports and goals and referrals. And then we're going to wrap it all up with your KW app and the Command Marketplace. So this is 12 weeks of jam-packed content. And basically, if you take all the classes, it'll result in a Command completion certificate. All the classes, for right now at least, will be taught via Zoom. And we will record them and then post it on Facebook as well for you guys to watch. So as we go along, sometimes we move quickly, and so you'll be able to rewatch these videos and go along if we're going too quickly. But if you want to get a completion certificate, you must attend all of the live Zoom classes to earn it. You know, going back and watching a session via Facebook or recorded Zoom won't count towards your credit for the completion certificate. However, just like with Ignite, if you miss, say, section 3 of the course, next quarter you could take section 3 and then you'll have completed the full course. All right, so I'm gonna kick it back to Renee now. That was my little introduction, and just remember the chat box if you guys have any questions as we go along here.
All right. All right, let me try and get back to, there we go. Bear with me, please, while we, while I learn this whole Zoom system. It's my first time hosting one. I've attended quite a few. Like I say, when I teach, I like to learn right along with you guys. All right, so are we all logged in now? We should be on our home page. And Sam, I know I sent you a private note giving you instructions about where you can log on.
And if anybody doesn't know, you can go to agent.kw.com, and hopefully you have your username and password credentials to get logged into the system.
Right. All right. So once you are logged in, what we're going to do is just go ahead and go to this top right-hand corner, right up here, and just click on your name. And that brings down your profile and your settings, which is what we're going to focus on today. So let's just go ahead and start with the profile.
Renee, just a quick suggestion that maybe before we get into that, do you want to just kind of introduce to people who've maybe never used the system before, all the different modules of the system?
Okay, sure.
Sorry, not trying to rain on your parade or jump on it here. It's,
that's all right,
yeah,
no problem.
New to the system.
Right. So if you're brand new, this when you first log on, you're going to see something similar to this screen. So you're going to have your tasks. They're going to show up in the front. You've got your goal, your actual, database health. I have my comparisons on so I can see how I'm doing with other people, and then some other recent leads. And then this just showed up. There's a new customized home up here in the top right-hand side. So let's just go back over real quick. Back on the left-hand side over here is where all of our different modules are. So we've got the home page. That's where you are when you first log on. And you've got your contacts. And these are all, if you think about Command as like your phone system, kind of, and these would be like apps that you're adding on. and all of the things that you can add on are all apps. So, so here's your contacts. Click on there. Tasks are here. Smart plans. And we're going to deep dive into all of these as we go along for the next weeks coming up. Referrals, opportunities, where all your transactions live in here between contacts and opportunities. Your campaigns. These could be either paid campaigns or social posts. Your database health overview or your reporting. Designs. This is fun. Listings. I don't have this one yet. I didn't get on that one. So it's just a sneak peek of KWLS or Keller Williams listing system within the command. We've got our insights next, and then landing pages. All right, I'm just going to go back to the home page here. And if you don't know what these little things mean, you can mouse over them and it shows you, or you can just click on the red KW up here, and it'll show you that way what everything means. All right. Something else that's newer. Over here on the right-hand side, we've got design update. So new designs that come out, they put them here. And then also the product update, so we can see what's going on, the updates that have come out when they do it from Keller Williams International. All right. Now let's go up here to your top right-hand side. You're going to click on your name, and then let's just start at the top and click on profile. Okay. Right at the top here is this banner picture. I just changed it this morning when I was looking at everything. So when you move your mouse up here, this shows up and it says change banner picture. You can just click whatever you want. It might take a couple of times because what you think is going to show up on this doesn't actually show up. So it just takes a very slim snapshot of whatever picture you want to put in there. Or you can have nothing in there, whichever way you want to do it. And then to put in your picture over here and all of your other information, you would have to click on the edit profile button, which is right here.
You have reached the voicemail box of 727.
Hi, Marco. All right, so to change anything in here, you would just click the edit profile. And obviously your name and your Keller Williams user ID is not going to change. That should already be in there. Just make sure that your email is correct. And I recommend using your KW email, but if you're using a different email, I recommend using that across all of Command's applications. And you have your phone numbers, of course. You can add service areas right here. And this information, I believe, shows up on the Connect page. So when potential referral partners are looking at you, they can see this information that you put in. And also, like with the social links right here, that shows up on a lot of your marketing as well. So here you want to put your bio in, and you have a Facebook page, a business page, your Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Google+. You can do all of that. Definitely you want to opt in to the referral network so that other referral partners can find you. And then also you can show on your profile page your closed units, transactions, your listings sold, buy sales, closed units sold. I chose not to show those on mine. I just want to show my time with KW. But you can choose or not choose any of those.
Yeah, keep in mind that if people are going to be sending you an inbound referral, that those are the types of things people are looking for. So if you have, you know, a decent amount of sold units, closed units, listings, things like that, you definitely want to show it. If you're a newer agent, you may have that turned off for now, but once you start going, definitely remember to go back and turn that back on.
Correct. And then if you make any changes, and you can't tell if there's a save button down there, right? Yes. Yes. Make sure that any changes that you make sure that you look and see if there is a save button, and make sure to click that before you exit out of it. Okay. And then also on your profile picture, that's important. You want to have a good picture in there. So, and then to change any of it, you would just click on it and upload whatever you want to put in there. Okay. Next, we're going to come back up to click on your name again and go down to the very next one for settings. There are a lot of settings in Command. And the one that shows up the first is kind of the most important one because it has to do with your applications, so Docusign, Facebook, your calendar, your Gmail, Twilio, HiSync if you want to do all that, and I'll go back through these in a second. I'm going pretty quick here.
Yeah, so if you're new to the system, you know, when you're looking at Renee's right now, you'll see that she's already connected to these. So if you haven't done it already, go ahead and click connect and get your Gmail and your Facebook. On Facebook, keep in mind that you have to have a Facebook business page in order to connect your Facebook. So if you're a new agent and you just have your personal Facebook page, you'll want to create a business page. And later on, we'll show you how you can create scheduled posts to Facebook through the command. You can create Facebook ads and generate leads and all kinds of other designs and stuff that you can post on Facebook and Twitter. So make sure you get a business account set up on those social media sites.
That is correct. And actually for Facebook, it's kind of confusing because there's two. And I believe one of them is for your personal Facebook page, because you can't have a business page unless you have a personal one. And that's where all your billing information comes back to. So it'll tell you when you go to connect it that which one they're wanting for which one, if that makes sense. So yeah, they need to know. So the ads manager would be your personal one, I believe, and that's what where your billing information comes from. All right. Docusign, as we know, is important, or you can choose to pay and continue to use .loop. I recommend Docusign. We're moving full stream ahead with that one. And there's a couple of different, for Docusign, there's a couple of different steps in order to do it. It would be connect the account. It would show like this in a dark blue. And would say connect the account, and then you would go see the email after you sign up with it. You have to click on that email and just follow the directions, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. And then you can come back here, and always, if something doesn't show up the way that you want it to, or if you're getting hung up on something, always come up to the top here and click your refresh button, and that'll always bring it back to current status, basically. All right. So I have my Gmail connected. And what that does is it syncs the emails that I have with my database, my contacts. It does not allow me, however, yet to send emails to my database through Gmail. It just syncs with the database.
Right. So basically, it syncs with your contact. So if you have a contact in your command database and you send an email to your contact or receive an email from your contact through your Keller Williams at kw.com email address, which is powered through Gmail, then that will actually, that interaction will get recorded under the contact activity, so that in the future, if you pull up one of your contacts in your database and you want to find an email that you sent them or you received from them, you can go right there in command and search for that email instead of having to search through on Gmail.
Correct. So Twilio is another application or app that you can connect if you want. I did choose to do this one, and that allows you to send text messages directly from command to your contact in the database.
Right, and a lot of the smart plans in the system, like the 8x8 campaign and some of the other nurture smart plans that are built in the system, some of the steps in the smart plans are for sending automated text to your clients. So if you want to be able to even assign people to certain smart plans, like an open house follow-up plan, an 8x8 smart plan, certain steps are text that automatically go out. So you have to get Twilio connected and set up in order to even activate those smart plans. And there's several steps that you have to go through in order to set it up. First off, when you sign up for Twilio and connect, it's going to assign you a Texas area code phone number. You can't use your own phone number or a Google phone number or anything like that. Twilio has their own set of phone numbers, and they have a Texas-based area code. Now, if you want for the system to send out text to people with our local area zip code, like a 727 area code phone number, then you can sign up for a local phone number. It's only $1 a month, so super cheap, definitely worth it. Now, once again, it's not going to be your mobile phone number or your work number or anything like that. Twilio is going to still assign you a phone number, but at least it'll come from a 727 phone number to your clients. And when they receive those texts, they can actually respond back, and you'll get notified through the system and through the Kelly app that you've received a text back from one of your contacts. However, the one downfall, unfortunately, is if they try to call you back on that number, they'll get this recording that it's not a valid number. So that's why when you set up your smart plans, which we'll cover in the future, that the first couple of times you send out messages, you want to start all of your text messages out with, hey, this is Drew Carlyle from Keller Williams Realty. I'm just following up with you from the open house or from the inquiry you made from our Facebook ad, so on and so forth. So if you do elect to get the local area code phone number, there's an additional step you need to take, which is you have to contact Twilio support and tell them to connect that number to your command system. So you do have to do that in order for it all to sync up properly. And my advice is that you go ahead and create a contact in the command system for yourself with maybe your personal email address and your cell phone number, and test out these things on yourself first to make sure it's all working properly before you start sending out messages and things through the system to your database.
Absolutely, all of those things. I actually created a little business card that I send out first, or with my welcome text I always send that out with them because you can connect, you can attach a little picture with any text that you send out. So HiSync. HiSync is a great little app where you can connect that account or start the account, and you get, I believe it's one free that you can connect, and you can choose to either have, so like for instance, mine is connected to LionDesk, which was my CRM that I used before Command came on, and I have it syncing back and forth to each other. So information that I put in LionDesk comes back to Command and vice versa. However, I've noticed that when I send out bulk emails from LionDesk, it does not come back. That doesn't show up because it's not going out through my @kw.com email address.
The idea for PieSync is it is a way to get all of your contacts that you may have in a different database like LionDesk or Brivity, Top Producer, anything like that, that you've probably been using in the past to manage your database. And instead of having to go through the difficult process of exporting all your contacts, importing them into the system, you can actually sync the two systems together. And so, in the example of Renee, who has LionDesk, if, for instance, she wants to continue to use LionDesk and she's in the command system, and let's say she gets an email address or a phone number or wants to update information on a contact in command, with the PieSync, it will automatically update the contact information in LionDesk as well. So if you're using more than one CRM system, then PieSync is a good way to be able to sync those two systems, and you don't have to create double the work of inputting and doing data entry. And if you're starting off fresh in command with like no contacts in your database right now, if you've got it in another database, you can simply turn on PieSync. Lo and behold, you've got your whatever 500 contacts now in command that you can connect through the command system.
Absolutely. Great little app. And my personal plan is to actually, of course, get rid of LionDesk and just use Command. And that's coming up really soon. So, all right. Yeah, eEdge is no longer supported, so we don't even have to talk about that. And if you have an Office 365 account, I have not connected mine because I don't really use that. So I can't really tell you about that. I imagine it would be similar to the other ones where you just connect it and it talks to each other.
Right. So like Office 365, if people are using, for instance, Outlook to send and receive emails, and in Outlook you have your address book of all of your contacts. If you connected your Office 365 account to Command, just like what we were just talking about with PieSync, it would import in all of your contacts from your Outlook address book database into the Command database.
Absolutely. All right, so the marketing automation, we talked about that a little bit. Facebook, Twitter, if you're using that. I do have a Twitter account, but I haven't opened up an ads manager for it, so I haven't connected that. And Google AdWords, do you do that, Drew?
No, because yeah, I just don't use Google that much. So
Yeah.
Facebook is really the highest and best use of my money as far as
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, we can still use MailChimp. Like I said, I'm still using my other one for mass emails. And MailChimp works fine. It's just that if for one campaign, you can only have one list. So that's what I've heard. It's a fine email to use. And now our newest one then is Command Email, which includes 5,000 free email sends per month. You are automatically connected when you log on to your Command, and all you do is like manage it. It's real simple. It's not, so the monthly neighborhood nurtures, that's how it's sent out, is through this command, the new command email.
Right.
For
So
now.
it's a little bit confusing right now because there's like basically 3 different email systems or way to email. So if you think about it this way, if you are looking at a specific contact in your database and you click their email address in the database in command, what it will do is actually open up your Gmail account and queue it up so that you can send an email out from Gmail. So if you're doing one-off emails to people, just click on their email address and you can send off a one-off email to them with Gmail. MailChimp is designed for mass emailing. So if you had a list of, let's say, your top 100 past clients and you wanted to send an email to your top 100 past clients, you would connect your MailChimp account and you could do a mass email to all of them. Right now, the way MailChimp is set up is you get one free list. So if that's the list you create, then you could send mass emails to your top 100 list. But then if you had another group of contacts that you tagged, let's say all of your current buyers, and you wanted to email them a new listing or an open house you're doing this week, you would have to pay MailChimp to have a secondary list of contacts to do a mass email to a secondary list. And then thirdly, the command email, which hopefully will be our primary email soon, is for our smart plan. So if you put a contact on a smart plan where they're getting an automated email maybe once a week or once a month, it goes out through the command email. So hopefully at some point we'll just have one email system that you can do mass emails, one-off emails, and smart plan emails. But right now there's kind of 3 different ways of sending emails in the system. And real quick before we move on, I noticed that Lisa Lucas asked if she's lost her eEdge contacts. From what I understand, no. You should be able to still log into eEdge and retrieve your contacts. It's up until a couple months ago, you would what Renee was showing you here was that you could sync your eEdge contact database with the command database and bring in all those contacts. So for those of you who've done it, you've already brought over everybody, and now you would manage them in command. If you did not do that, then the option would be is that you can still go into eEdge and export all of your contacts into a CSV file and then import them in to the command database. And it's a little bit technical, so I would recommend that you get Scott Leroy to help you out and do that. Like for instance, I had a top producer database, and PySync didn't connect to top producer at the time. So I had Scott Leroy export all of my contacts out of top producer and then import them into command so that we wouldn't lose any information there. All right?
Yeah, that is correct. Okay. All right, there are more apps, and I'm just going to click on here really quick just to show you kind of what it looks like. We're not going to go through each one individually because we're going to run out of time real quick. It's called the KW Marketplace.
And the reason it's called the Marketplace is some of these apps are going to be free, but also some of the apps are ones that you can pay for to integrate and work with the command system.
Right, exactly. So you can see it has it by category and other criteria. These are the featured, and then there's all applications that you can just go through and look for anything that you want to see.
Yeah, one of the coolest apps that they have in the marketplace right now is called Porch, which if you noticed when Renee was going through her different modules, she has Porch connected. And basically what that is that let's say you have a buyer, they get a home inspection done, and now they're wondering, well, what's it going to cost to fix all these things that came up from the home inspection? You can actually submit the entire home inspection report through this porch application, and they will come back and give you estimates on what it will cost to repair everything, as well as connect you to local vendors who will do it. And they even have a guarantee, and I forget exactly what it is, but essentially, if the final repair bill for all of those items from the inspection report is 10% higher than their estimate, it's almost like an insurance policy that you won't pay more than 10% above the estimate that they gave you.
Super powerful.
Yeah.
I can even see an application where you could do that with your seller, to have a pre-listing inspection, and
Right.
go ahead and have everything fixed ahead of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's another one in the marketplace for, I think, what is it, Fidelity Title, and that's launching soon, where basically you can share all the information with the title company and work through the command system back and forth with the title company. So you can send them the contracts, send them your DA, do updates, message each other right through the command application, instead of having to pick up the phone and call the title company.
Right. Right. So that's the applications part. The next in the command settings is contacts. And what we have here is any contact that you've archived, you can go look at those. And you can actually do a database wipe if something crazy happened. Here you can fill out your custom tags to add to your individual contacts. There's custom fields that you can have, that you can add. And that's that. Here's where there's opportunity archive, because you will be archiving some opportunities that you put in for training, or for whatever reason, they just go away. So then you want to archive them, and this is where they live. Opportunity settings, there you can, the design template under opportunity settings just has to do with what it looks like when you send offers to your sellers, I believe. Agent sites, and we'll get into this further down our session here, not today, further along in the 12-week classes. Your agent site, so my neighborhoods, that's where you're going to send to your new customers, or your old ones even. The neighborhood reports. Here's landing pages you can set up, whatever team data you need to put in. You would also build up your website here as well. And then import logs, I haven't even looked at that yet. So.
Yeah, that's like I was saying, if you import your database or have Scott Leroy import your database, those are just the logs on that. Nothing really that you need to worry about there.
Gotcha. Okay. So connect settings, this is more on your marketing profile. So we're gonna click on that. So here's your photo. This is like a different place where you can add your photo.
Right. It seems redundant, but
yeah.
this is where when you start building your website, your app, different things like that, some of your designs, it brings in your photos and your logos and your information. So make sure you fill out all this information, because if you notice kind of in the top right-hand corner under Renee's name and photo, you click that button to say use my to brand my agent website. So this is how you, it's kind of the first step to building your website.
Correct. You definitely want all that to show up on there. But here you can put in obviously your name, your license number, your team. I'm not on a team, but that's kind of my little logo. So that's what I use for that. And you put in your job title, whatever designations and credentials that you have. An extended bio. And your contact information. Here's I think this is the right one. I'm pretty sure that it is. I double checked it. Kristen made sure to let us all know that there's a new version of this, and it's available on our intranet as well as on the Facebook page.
Right. So anybody on this that is with the St. Pete Beach Market Center, Gulf Beaches of Pinellas, when you look at the logo, it's kind of like it says Gulf Beaches and then of Pinellas below it, and all the letters should match up. So the last S in beaches and the last S in Pinellas should be right on top of each other, not kind of staggered in where of Pinellas is shorter than Gulf Beaches. That was kind of the original logo, and so we just want to make sure the Gulf Beaches of Pinellas it's all kind of square and lined up, all the letters on it.
Easy to read. There's a legal footer text, and when this first came up, I asked somebody, I think it was, I can't remember his name, our legal guy, and he indicated that we don't have to have anything on there. I just looked at a bunch of other agents, what they had, and kind of put that on there. Yeah.
Right.
Especially about Keller Williams' office. Each office is independently owned and operated. That's from KWRI. They want to have that on there.
Right.
Most things that's added automatically.
Right. I think when you look at the website, they already default that legal footer on the website that each office is independently owned and operated and equal opportunity housing. So if you put it in there, just double check because you might be redundant on what you have at the bottom of the footer of your website.
Correct. And I believe all of this also shows up on any print marketing that you do and all that. So I'm not sure if it shows up automatically on there or not. Yeah. And then here again, you can put your social information, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to use. I thought I had this in here. I'll have to put that in there later.
I had the same issue. So it's a little bit complicated. I don't know if we'll actually cover it in this series, but you can kind of look into it or talk to us one-off. A lot of people are probably more familiar with the Google Analytics tracking, which tracks like how many people go to your website, how long they're on your website, do they go to other pages on your website, that type of analytics for your personal website. Google has this Pixel ID thing that sort of works the same way as that. And you can go onto Facebook and get your Pixel ID number for your business page and put that in there. So, and you can also sign up for Google Analytics to track your website. But right now it seems like, I've put in my Pixel ID in Analytics a couple of times and it's deleted back out. So I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I had put mine in there too. So I guess that's what happened.
Right.
Deleted out. So very important is you want to find your KW app link. You definitely want to have that in there. And that's the very last thing right here.
Right, and we'll cover that in another class. What your specific app is. You can probably just go on your phone, and if the app is branded to you on your phone, you can see basically the KW207 blah blah blah, and see what your specific number is.
Yeah, I think if you send it to yourself via email or something, then you'll get it that way. It's a real easy way to get it. Yeah. Okay. Global settings, that's not in there. You're not going to see this one. I have the market center settings because I do the compliance, so that's not going to be on yours most likely. So So that's it for the settings part. And I guess we have time for questions. You can unmute yourselves if you'd like to do a question that way, or you can put it in chat.
Yeah, there was a question from Annie asking, do you need to go through the Market Center to download them? I don't have ports on my list. I think Annie is referring to the marketplace. My understanding is that your MCA for your Market Center has to approve some of the marketplace apps, because some of the apps you'll pay for just via your own company credit card. However, some of the apps may end up be worked out where you pay it through your office bill. So any case, if a particular app isn't showing up, check with your MCA and make sure that they've okayed and activated that marketplace app.
That's a great point. I never would have thought of that.
All right, while we're waiting for other questions, Renee, I wanted you to go back to the command settings again, left. And I was just wanted to point out a couple of things because I think you kind of went through it. So on the contacts, click on that.
Yeah.
So just to make clear on what some of these things mean. So let's say you're in command and you've doubled up on a contact, or for whatever reason you want to remove a contact from your database. When you delete that contact, it doesn't completely delete out of the database. It goes into this contact archive. So it's sort of like sometimes, like on Outlook, if you delete an email, it goes into the trash, but the trash doesn't get emptied until you tell it to empty the trash. Same sort of thing there. So
right. So I just pulled up mine. These are all people that don't belong in my database anymore for whatever reason. And I can go through and just select them individually, or I can select them all. And then after I do that, I could either restore the ones that I selected, maybe I archived them on accident, or I can go ahead and delete the selected ones permanently. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Then that's it.
Yeah. Now the next one, the database wipe. I wish they had this back in the beginning, because
right.
In the very beginning, I synced up my eEdge, and I had something like 20,000 contacts in eEdge, and I didn't know it was going to connect, download every single contact, and I didn't want all those people from eEdge. My eEdge CRM had got it kind of bloated. Plus, I had like, I think 2,000 real estate agents in there that I used to use to send out for brokers opens and new listings. But over the years, agents either left real estate or went to a different brokerage, had new email addresses, so a lot of them were invalid. So I had to go through and like delete like 4,000 or 5,000 people out of there. And at the time, if there was that database wipe, it would have been great. Also, just a word of note, if you do connect your Gmail account and sync it, just keep in mind that every person that you, well, not if you connect your Gmail account, that's just for emailing, but if you do like the PySync, you can PySync to your Gmail account. If you do that, it will actually bring in every single contact you ever emailed to or received an email from. And think about it, sometimes you receive an email and there's 100 people on that email. Every one of those people would be created as a contact. So I did that one time in the very beginning when I was playing with the system, and had, I don't know, 10, 15,000 contacts in my database. So I wanted to wipe them all out, and they didn't have this at the time, so I had to delete them 50 at a time. So in any case, yeah, so if you make the mistake like me, at least now you have the ability to wipe your whole database. The next thing is custom tags. And actually, Renee, give me a moment. If you
do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to share that back, I'm going to pull something up here. Give me 1 second. All right. I just wanted to get it pulled up first. just show you an example here that you can create, whoops, get that out of the way, get the chat out of the way. You can see my screen here. You can create custom tags in the system, and this is a good way to keep track of all of your contacts so that later on, if you want to send out, say, an email to a specific group of people, you'll have them tagged. You can color code your custom tags in the system. So this is just kind of an idea that another agent had put out. I've actually created my own custom tags that's color coordinated. So in this example, the white tag is, who is this person? Are they a buyer, a seller, an agent, talent, KW agent, a landlord, a tenant, a vendor, right? So who is this person to you, right? The next one is, it says here, referral how, which is the blue. Where did they come from? You know, are they a neighbor, a family member, a friend? Were they referred by another agent? Are they somebody from your church or your soccer league? Were they an internet lead? Do they come from an open house? Do they come from a Facebook ad? You can even do subcategories. So for instance, you could say the source is an internet lead, and then you could have a different color for subsource, which would be internet lead is the source. Subsource could be realtor.com, Zillow.com, something like that. So you can really, you know, break this down into multiple tags. So any individual contact in the system could have up to 5, 6, 7 different tags on them. Who they are, where they came from. You see in this example here of location, and it's in yellow. Now, it looks like this person who created this is obviously over in the Orlando area. So they've got like Lake Nona, Kissimmee, Winter Park. So for us, that could be somebody who lives in Seminole or Largo or Pinellas Park. Or you could have a location as either St. Pete Beach or just all of the beaches. And think about it this way. If you had a new listing or a broker's open, or you want to get hyper local on statistics you want to send out to your database, you've got all of your people tagged. And so then you can do a specific email or a text to those people who are tagged, right? Or if somebody's out of state, you know, are they from Texas or California or New York, right? You might want to target people from where they live. You know, a lot of our clients are second home, winter home type people. So you may want to target people that live out of state. The purple is call groups. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, what is it, the R2D2 or
DT.
DT.
Do the database two-step.
Yeah, you probably learned in bold. So you can create your call groups here, the A and W, the B and E, the D and O, which, as you know, if you learned in bold, it's the group of people, their last, you know, either first or last name starts with that letter, and you call through those groups of people, you know, once a week or every 2 weeks or whatever, you know, each group. So that, what is it? I think each week you call those letters.
Yeah.
So that 1 quarter, you've called everybody in your database. Another example of a custom tag is like VIP, gold, silver, coal. I like that. That would be like for referrals, right? Your VIP people are probably your top 100 past clients that have either given you one referral or multiple referrals. And those are the types of people that you're probably going to spend money on, invite to client parties, or you know, send out different marketing swag or promotional products, send them gift cards. So that's your VIP. Your golds are people who maybe have given you at least one referral or would highly likely refer you in the future. Silver, still a chance that they probably know you, like you, and would refer you. So you may want to target them every now and then. maybe have them come to one of the client parties or send out, a card to or some sort of other marketing swag. And then I love that they have Cole here. Those are the people that know you, but maybe don't like you so much. Maybe a transaction didn't go as smoothly as you had hoped, or something fell through. And, so there's going to be people there. Not everybody, not everybody's going to love you. There's always going to be some people in your database that aren't your champion and wouldn't refer you. So, and then they've got other examples here. Actions. So maybe certain people you want to send a card to, or if they're a service member, you want to, on Veterans Day, do something special for them there. Invite them to an event or a training event, things like that. So those are just some examples. In my database, what I did was, since I have a team, we created a color-coded tag as to which member of the team is responsible for that contact. So I've got a tag that either says Drew or Carol or Tatiana, and that means that that specific person, that contact in the database, if my name is tagged to them, I'm responsible for that contact. That means I should have them on a quarterly call plan. I should have them receiving a monthly neighborhood nurture plan, that I'm going to call them, once a month or once a quarter. I'm going to send emails and texts to them. So that specific contact in my database, I'm responsible to follow up with, and we don't forget about them and lose sight. So just a couple of ideas there on the custom tags.
Perfect.
All right, well, we only have about a minute or two left. Is there any last minute questions? If you got a question, unmute your microphone, or you can
Drew,
the
Lisa,
chat.
yeah, Lisa had a question for teams using one CRM. Can you see it on the chat there?
Okay.
For teams using one CRM but having an account for each agent, does the entire CRM database import with PySync, or just the contacts in each agent's account to them?
I didn't know if that was a clear question or not.
I think I get the gist of it, and let me know if I answer this right or wrong. So basically, each agent on your team has sort of their own contacts in one CRM system. Is that right?
Yeah, in other words, we're using one CRM, but within that, we can pull contacts into our quote unquote account through the CRM so that we can keep straight who we're working with. Right.
And yeah, like I was just talking about with on my team where we did the tagging, it is a little bit confusing, and I'm learning along the way. I would think that if the CRM system you're using, each person on your team has their own username and login with their own contacts, then yes, each person would go on and use like PySync and sync up the CRM, and they would bring in their own contacts. Or if it's not available for syncing through PySync, then you would have either yourself or Scott Leroy do an export of each one of your databases and then import each one of your databases individually into the system. So, I mean, every team is structured differently. The way that my team is set up is that the entire database, all of the contacts are under my account. And then I either share contacts, like with my admin needs access to every contact and every opportunity so that they can get their information, set things up for signing, so on and so forth. However, my buyer's agent, what I do is I assign contacts. She doesn't have access to my entire database of 1,500 people. I assign her either like Facebook leads that come in or buyer clients, things like that. And so they get assigned to her. So out of the 1,500 contacts in the system, she only has visibility of a couple hundred of the contacts. And those are the people that I've tagged, that I've assigned to her, that she's responsible for calling and following up with. So it really depends on how you want to organize your team. I, as the team leader, I want to be able to have access to all of the contacts and visibility of them, so I can keep track of my team members and make sure that they're calling them, following up with them, putting notes in, creating activities and tasks behind them, and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. That clears that up.
All right. And actually, now that I think about it, so for instance, my new buyer's agent, Tatiana, when she joined the team, we imported 550 of her contacts from her personal database. Basically, it was her cell phone. And even though they're under her account, and I still am able to see all of her contacts as being the team lead, right? Now, the other members of my team can't see her contacts, but I have visibility to all of her personal contacts that she imported into the system.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right, let me see, what other questions? Let's see, somebody asked, did we record the session? Yes, it is recorded, and we put it on our KW Gulf Beach's Facebook page.
I think we can also email it to all the attendees. Yeah.
All right, and then Leah asked, how is it that contacts can be parsed by agent? Can you, did I answer that question with the other question, or? Okay, so only agent sees their own. So once again, if you're the team lead, you're going to have visibility of everybody's contacts. However, if you want an agent on your team to have visibility of a contact, you either need to assign it to them, or you can share the contact. And then you also have the option, if you share a contact with somebody, whether or not they have the ability to edit that contact. And just as a reminder, next week is the contacts class. So I'm going to be covering all this stuff in more detail, and I'll show you how to do all this stuff at 1 o'clock next Wednesday for Command 2.0. Shameless plug.
Perfect.
All right. Any other
All
questions?
right.
Is everybody good?
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. Just a reminder, this is a 12-part series. So this was, number one, or session one right here. And we got 11 more sessions to go over the next 11 weeks. So it'll be every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I believe the Zoom account, code, number, class, whatever is the same for every single week. So save it, come back, and if you complete all 12 classes, you'll get a completion certificate. And if you miss one of them, we are recording them, but to get credit for completing the entire series, just like with Ignite, like let's say you miss session 3 and session 7, next quarter you can take session 3 and 7 and get the full credit for completing all 12 classes. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
All right.
Next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Have a great Wednesday.